And today, the government is looking at emerging sectors like healthcare, education, development of an ocean economy, marina development. So if you look at the trajectory and the GDP, you would see that it has consistently increased, and government has consistently reinvented itself and finding new sectors for development. So we can say that Mauritius has a fully diversified economy, with manufacturing accounting for about 18% of our GDP. Tourism would account for about 7% of the GDP. ICT, BPO would account for about 6.8%. Property development would account also for around 13%. So there's in Mauritius what we call a real economy. And I think the upgrading of Moody's of Mauritius to the Baa1 status in 2012, and which was maintained in 2013, is a testimony to our economic resilience and diversification. In terms of doing business, so over the years, Mauritius has been able to put in place the necessary conditions to offer to the investor community a very competitive and conducive business environment. And in fact, since 2006, the government has gone and has embarked into major reform programs. And today, it's easy to start up a company. You can start up a business in 3 working days. There's no minimum capital that is required for you to incorporate a company in Mauritius. And you can also have a 100% foreign-owned company. We also have reviewed our taxation system to make it easy to do business, and we have a single platform of 15% for corporate and individual. Except for companies that operate in what we call the global business, so where their activities are being carried out outside of Mauritius, they would pay 3% of corporate tax. And companies that operate in the Freeport would pay 0% corporate tax. There's also no withholding tax, no capital gains, and you can repatriate also profits easily. We also have, in terms of the political environment, as I said, a very social and political stability, modern legislation, and effective regulation. What we have done is that we have also opened up the country to attract foreign investors, to attract foreign professionals, and also to attract people who would like to come and work and live in Mauritius. We have also made it possible to enable access to property for business purpose. So any foreigner that would like to acquire property for a business purpose can do so. We have also made it possible to acquire residential property in Mauritius, but that is within a very defined, prescribed scheme that I will cover in my presentation. We have also abolished the exchange control to make it easy for free flow of capital, and that has been done since 1994. So all these efforts that have been made by the government have been recognized internationally. And in many indices, you would see that globally, Mauritius is doing very well, and also in Africa, where we are first in Africa in several indices. I would take the example of the World Bank Ease of Doing Business, where we are 19th globally and first in Africa for 5 consecutive years, and also in the Mo Ibrahim Index of Good Governance, where we also first in Africa for 5 consecutive years. In terms of the investment opportunities, with a very diversified economy, investment opportunities, of course, are available in various sectors. I'll start with the manufacturing sector. In fact, the development of the manufacturing sector started in the early 1970s. And that was at the time where government had to cope with problems of high unemployment, with also the low level of foreign exchange reserves and high dependency on a monocrop economy. So we started to develop specific schemes in a regime where we invited manufacturing to come and set up in Mauritius and provided them with incentives. And today the manufacturing sector would be the most important sector contributing to the GDP and employing more than 65,000 workers with more than 500 companies operating in the manufacturing sector. And if you look at the products that are manufacturing in the activities that are being carried out in the manufacturing sector, you'd see that textile represents a large part. Food would represent also about 40%, but there are also a large variety of other products that are being manufactured, like jewelry, printing and publishing. We also have agro-industry, electronics, precision engineering, and plastics, which you have seen in the clip before. And why would someone come to Mauritius to do manufacturing? I think if you look at the number of agreements that Mauritius has signed with the different countries and blocs, it perfectly makes sense for you to consider Mauritius as a manufacturing base. You can export to the European Union under the Economic Partnership Agreement, duty-free and quota-free from Mauritius. You can export to the US under the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act more than 2,000 line of products, duty-free and quota-free. And more importantly, you can have access to the African market and tap into a market of more than 600 million people through the major trading blocs that we belong to. So through the agreements that we have signed with the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa and the Southern African Development Community, you can export duty-free and quota-free to the African markets. We've also signed on a bilateral basis agreements with Pakistan. We've signed a PTA with Pakistan and an FTA with Turkey. So that provides also for a number of products to be exported duty-free on those markets. In terms of the trading and logistics platform, I think we are strategically located between Asia and Africa. And by leveraging on this strategic position, we've developed a vibrant Freeport. And over the years, this Freeport has developed into being a regional and trading and logistic platform. So today we have around more than 180,000 square kilometers of Freeport zone that have been developed over more than 42 hectares, and also more than 260 companies operating in the Freeport. So what does the Freeport offer? So it offers you the possibility to set up a company in the Freeport to do several kind of activities that can range from warehousing, bug breaking, export and re-export of products, freight forwarding services, shipbuilding, repair and maintenance. You can do also some light assembly and minor processing. But what we've done also to encourage companies to do more value addition in the Freeport is that we now enable them to do manufacturing in the Freeport, provided that they are exporting those products to Africa. And the government has recently come up with a roadmap for the development of the seafood industry and for the development of the whole ocean industry. And there are different verticals that have been identified under this roadmap and where opportunities are being explored. So that would range from the sea bed exploration, hydrocarbon and minerals, fishing, seafood processing and aquaculture, deep ocean water applications, so that would range also for marine services, including marine biotechnology, marine renewable energies, and also ocean knowledge, amongst others. But over the years, this industry has significantly developed, and today this industry is a large contributor to the GDP. We have more than 500 companies today that operate in this ICT BPO space, employing more than 17,000 people. More and more we are going into value-added activities like knowledge process outsourcing, legal process outsourcing, but also looking at development of activities like data centers and shared service.